we begin to reach out to see who can we find, and then we found out that even on Sunday morning, majority of the people in the city at the time were home, some washing, some cooking, some playing games, and we begin to speak to them about Christ. From there, the ministry began. Then we begin to see a lot of things happening. Firstly, most of the females in the community were involved in prostitution, while the young children were in the streets. Some child laboring and others were just roaming about. We found out a lot of things happening in the community, and so we begin to pray about this, asking the Lord to give us directive. Finally, we found out that it was good to start something that will attract the attention of these women, which were mostly adolescent mothers, to be able to learn something. Maybe that will change them from going out to sell their bodies and be able to do something with their own hands. Finally, we were blessed to have what we have today, the building we are using for worshiping and then for training. This actually came through prayer.
We brought the skill training into this ministry to empower the youth and the adults in the ministry so that they will be able to carry the gospel out to others. So they can't say they are hungry. So they can't say there is no food. They will be able to prepare food for themselves. For now, we have 50 women and youth in class session now. And I was still training continue, so making, tie and dye, baking, and tailoring.
Another thing that's happening is we started just with the women group in 2001. And then these women were having children who could not go to school because they never had a hand to send them to school, or maybe because they were the hereditary children that were living with them. And so we started to open avenue for the little children. And as we speak, we do have a full elementary and junior high school. And then, interestingly, this school year we have about 241 students in school. About 21 of the students, both from the daycare and the regular school, are some vulnerable students. Some of them are orphans. About 6 of them are orphans. 6 of them are abandoned children. And then we also have 9 of them who are single parents children. These ones were only taken care of by the church. The church takes the responsibility to pay their various fees, even get uniform for them to attend school. And then we actually ended the school year with 378 students. And that's what God had done in the ministry so far. The ministry itself is improving. From the number 9 to 15, we move up to 150 members in the central church. And then we were able to plant new churches, now known as the Ganta Zone. We have 2 new preaching points. Okay, this preaching point was established by the women in the church. They just started a Bible study group along that highway. After about 2 weeks, they came in and said, well, we think the people want to have service and not just Bible study. And as we speak, they have 3 services now. I think it's about a month and a week old preaching point. Interestingly, there were about 34 that started. And when I visited them last Sunday, there were about 62 in service. That we think God is actually working in the ministry. Besides that, we will have other preaching points in Frompa, Blackland, and then we do have another church now organized in Kwending, known as Kwending Church of the Nazarene. So with this number of churches under the Ganta Zone, we want to be grateful to the Lord for the tremendous work He's doing in the ministry.